Everybody, it's that time of year again. It's March Madness. I'm a year older, and 4A and 5A boys basketball is going to be playing in the pit for a state championship, the blue title. So we'll go over a few things. I'm just going to go over my 5A and 4A picks. Got a little tools here to help me out. Try to remember all this stuff. There's a lot of teams, 16 teams in each bracket in 4A and 5A. Now, if you want to buy tickets, you got to go to gofans.com and you got to follow the prompts and the search tools in order to find the NMAA state tournament there. I'm basically helping the NMAA out. You know, you would think they would put something up to help everybody else out, but you know, it is what it is with those guys. So basically, we're going to start with 4A boys basketball. I had posted my picks on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for everybody to see. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen them. So I'm just going to go over them real quick, kind of a fast and furious type of deal here. We're going to start with 4A with the 1 seed St. Pius X against the 16th seed Roswell Goddard. Now, I've picked St. Pius X to go to the quarterfinals and defeat Goddard. And really the reason why is Kenny Zamora, really nice point guard, really shifty, really fast. And he's the reason why they've had a lot of success over at St. Pius. In fact, I have St. Pius going all the way to the semifinals where I'm picking Albuquerque Academy to meet them. So that gives you an idea of that bracket. And hopefully you can see my graphic here. And then in the second bracket is Highland versus Del Norte. What a matchup. Classic rivalry. It's the two schools on San Mateo. You have Jesus Lecon and Juan Rimas with Highland. And then you have Del Norte. And I really think this one could go either way, 50-50 right here. It always has, and it probably always will, as long as Justin Woody is head coach of Highland and Jerron McIntosh of Del Norte is coaching. It's always going to be a close one. I think Highland might be able to pull it out, though, and meet St. Pius, where I'm picking St. Pius to pull that one out and get to the semifinals. So that's where I'm at with that bracket right there. So let's move on real quick here. Fast and furious. Milwaukee Valley versus Taos. Milwaukee Valley has some nice players, and Taos has some nice players. And Taos is on a roll right now, and I think they're peaking right now at the right time for the state tournament. And I'm just picking Taos to go on to the quarterfinal where they'll face Albuquerque Academy. And that's kind of where I'm seeing it right now. And I also pick Albuquerque Academy to get past Taos in that one. And then in the next bracket is Albuquerque Academy versus Grants. I pick Albuquerque Academy. They have Hunter, Amy, Eli Dominguez. And this is a very big size team, and they've been pretty strong, and they've done really well this year. But it's anybody's ball game. But I picked them to beat Grants and meet Taos, like I said earlier, and to go on against St. Pius in the semifinals. Now, I'm picking Albuquerque Academy to get to the final, and I'll get to who I think is going to win 4A there. So the next bracket is Espanola Valley versus Berlin. They got Jarek Dutta and they have Josiah Fresquez at Espanola Valley, and this is a very nice guard combo, and so it makes for a lot of mismatches, things of that nature. And so I think they're going to go far because of the bracket they're in. And because of those two players, I think they make a big difference mismatch wise. And so I think that's going to really benefit them. And I have them meeting Hope Christian in the quarterfinals, who I think they'll beat. And then I have them going to the semifinals against Artesia. I don't think they'll have enough against Artesia if Artesia, in fact, makes it to the semifinals. And so I see them bowing out in the semifinals. So we're going to move on here. Silver and Hope Christian. Hope Christian, I think, will get past Silver. And they will play Espanola Valley, like I said, in the quarterfinals. I just don't think they're going to be able to beat Espanola Valley, but I think it'll be a really close game. And who knows? Jim Murphy is a really, really good all-time winning coach here in New Mexico. I believe he moved up to number 42 all-time wins in all of high school basketball. I believe he passed Dick Cote of Colorado earlier this season. So he might be a 42 or 41 as far as ranking of all-time wins in high school basketball. So his ranking just keeps on going and going and going. So, but we're going to move on. Valley versus Lovington. And this one was tough, honestly. I decided to go with Valley. They have Carter Monroe, who's been a really nice player for them this year. And he's really held the fort for Valley. They've been kind of inconsistent and had a rough season, but I think they can pull it out. And they have Lovington with Cale Covington, really nice player. I just wonder if they have enough, but I think that game's going to be really, really close, and I think it's going to go down to the wire, and that one should be an exciting one to go check out. Now for the next bracket, Gallup versus Artesia. This one's kind of, I don't want to say easy, but I think it will be, honestly. Artesia is just too big for Gallup right now. I love Gallup, the way they pass the ball, way they run their offense, and they get good shots at the free throw line, things of those nature. But I just don't think they have the size to handle Artesia with Charlie Campbell and Clay Kincaid. Clay Kincaid is around 6'7", 6'8". So I'm seeing Artesia moving on to face Valley. Now, I think that one's going to be a close one also. But I'm still seeing Artesia passing Valley and then meeting Espanola Valley. So I'm expecting Artesia to meet Espanola Valley in the semifinals. And I think they'll be able to beat them in the semifinals and then move on to the finals against Albuquerque Academy, which I think will be a really, really nice game. However, I think Albuquerque Academy will be able to overcome these guys and win the 4A state championship. So that's my pick. Excuse me, losing my voice already. That's my pick for 4A state championship in the state tournament is Albuquerque Academy. I'm expecting them. I'm predicting, I should say. Shouldn't expect anything, honestly. Anything could happen. But I'm just picking Albuquerque Academy to pull this one off and win a state championship this year. It kind of seems like an unlikely pick in a way, because if you looked at them in the beginning, it didn't quite look like that. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll just see how that plays out. So that's my pick. So let's move on to the 5A state championship. And we'll start with the first bracket, and that's Volcano Vista against West Mesa. This one, honestly, I'm losing my voice already. Honestly, I expect Volcano Vista to go all the way to the finals. And they've just been steamrolling everybody since they lost in Arizona to those two teams in a tournament in the non-district season. That was around December. And they're just playing a lot faster. They make great adjustments. They guard really well. They don't take bad shots. They don't take risky shots. They don't gamble. They just get it done, and they beat everybody by at least 10 to 20 possessions. They've beaten some teams by 50 points this year. It's just been a demolition this year for Volcano Vista. So, I mean, honestly, I can tell you right now, I'm expecting them to win their fourth state championship. Predicting, unless somebody else can change my mind during the tournament. But that's what I'm expecting. But I'm going to go over the brackets either way. They're going to face off against West Mesa, and that'll be at Volcano Vista. Remember, the lower seeds are going to be the home gym, and the higher seed is going to be the road team. So the lower seed, like Volcano Vista here at number 1, is going to be at their place. So they're going to play West Mesa with Estevan Espinosa, Julian Hernandez, and Dalen Holt. And that's a nice young group, but I just don't think they have the experience to handle Volcano Vista. And I don't think they have the size. And size does matter, especially when it has skill and it has athleticism. So I just don't expect that to happen. La Cueva and Cibola in the next bracket. This one is, I think this is a toss-up, honestly. If La Cueva can overcome Elijah Martinez. I'm talking about his father. His father is Gabe Martinez, the coach. Elijah Martinez is the star. He's a sophomore, really nice player. But I think La Cueva will have enough with Drew Bramlett and Maddox Taylor and Trey Collins to be able to overcome them. La Cueva has had some nice victories this year, especially against Sandia. So I'm just expecting them to pull this one out. I'm expecting them to get to the quarterfinals against Volcano Vista. But again, I just don't think they have the experience to handle this Volcano Vista team. We're seeing a historic run with Volcano Vista, and that's what it's looking like. So let's move on to the next bracket, Oregon Mountain versus Farmington. Oregon Mountain has been dominant the last 3 years in Las Cruces in that district, and they've won it 3 years in a row. And they've got Lenny Washington, a player I love, and they're a very, very good team. And I have Farmington there, and I have Farmington beating them. And so, why do I have Farmington beating them? Because Farmington, I think, is battle tested. They've played a very tough schedule. They are not scared of much of anything. They have Landon Begay, who's already scored 1,000 points for his career, and it's his senior year. And he's a really nice outside shooter, and they have some good size with Sam Goetz at 6'6". So I think they be able to pull the upset there at Oregon Mountain at the Castle. I just think that the timing might be right. They travel all over the state, so going down to Cruces won't be a big deal to them. This is what they've been doing all season long. So I have Farmington going to the quarterfinals and then meeting in the semifinals with Volcano Vista, who they lost to by 25 points every time they faced them. So I don't think that's going to change, honestly. So I expect Volcano Vista to get by them in the semifinals. But I'm picking them to get to the quarterfinals out of that bracket against Oregon Mountain. And the next bracket is Roswell-Carlsbad. Roswell has been very good, possibly the top 5, fifth best team in the state, 4th best team. And they've been very, very competitive, especially with Hobbs. They didn't do so well against Hobbs in the district tournament championship where they lost by 20. And right now, it's always difficult to go into the tournament with a loss because now you have that added extra pressure to try to get that win, to get that confidence before the game because you've got a loss on your hands. And then here you are, got to play in the tournament, and then it could be your last game. So you could end up losing 2 in a row. So I think that's going to be difficult for them, but I do think they could get past Carlsbad. And that one will be played in Roswell. And I see them playing Farmington in the quarterfinals, and I think Farmington will be able to get past them. And again, the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finals are played at the Pit. These are played at the Pit. So it's a neutral site. So, but I think Farmington's going to be able to get past Roswell in this one. That's what I'm seeing anyways. Now let's move on to the next bracket. Sandia versus Rio Rancho. Sandia's been gangbusters, fast offense, great press, young freshman and Gad Harris. You got Isaiah Brown, freshman, amazing. Thomas Adams. And this group has got a lot of talent. And I see Sandia getting by Rio Rancho. In fact, I see them going to the semifinals where they'll meet up with Hobbs. That's what I'm seeing anyways. That's what I'm seeing with them because they just have a very, very good team. They are going to have to really dial it down defensively. And I think if they can do that and get on the fast break and really, really get going, they could be a very, very, very dangerous team. So let's move on to the next bracket, and that's Albuquerque High, Santa Fe. I kind of thought of it as a toss-up, honestly, because you got Joe Gonzalez of Santa Fe. He's been really good, really solid. with his play, and he's led the Demons of Santa Fe. And then you have Albuquerque High, which has been a really, really nice team. But I'm expecting Albuquerque High to get past Santa Fe on this one. I think they're going to sneak by them. Santa Fe did have a tough loss against El Dorado, which was kind of a befuddling loss in a way because they beat them earlier. So I'm kind of expecting Albuquerque High to get by them and then meet Sandia in the quarterfinals, where I think Sandia will be a little bit too much for them. And that's where I think they'll bow out of the tournament. So let's move on to Cleveland and Atrisco in the next bracket. This one, I'm looking at Cleveland. Remy Albrecht has been really good, a really, really nice guard for the Storm of Cleveland. This is where I think they'll get past Latavius Morris and Atrisco. I think they have enough to do that, but I think it's going to be a really, 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 really close game, honestly. And honestly, a lot of these games look like they could be potential overtime games. I think there's going to be a lot of games that could go either way. Brackets are going to get busted like crazy. They could go either way. This one's really 5A boys, honestly, outside of Volcano, is going to be a lot of close games, in my opinion. So, but I'm looking at Cleveland to get to the quarterfinals, where I see them meeting Hobbs. Now, the next bracket is Las Cruces and Hobbs. This one will, of course, be played at Ralph Tasker. Las Cruces is really, really young. They got a lot of freshmen, and I just don't think they have the experience yet to handle Hobbs, who has Parker Henderson, has Abraham Pena, and then they have Jarius Torribius. And that right there is a lot of size, a lot of talent right there. They did lose Peyton Hodge for the season. I don't know why on that one. As far as Hobbs, that could hurt them in the state tournament, but I think they'll be able to get past Las Cruces. I see Hobbs going to the quarterfinals here against Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland will have the size to match up with Hobbs, so I think Hobbs will be able to get past them, even though I believe they lost to Cleveland before, but I think they'll get it back. That's just my gut feeling on that one. And then moving on to the semifinals, they're going to play Sandia. I think that one's going to be crazy game. Hobbs is definitely going to have to step up, but I think they have the size. I really do. I think they have the size. If they get on a rhythm, they could definitely do it. And I kind of have that feeling they're going to do it and get to the finals. And I see them in the finals with Volcano Vista. I mean, I could go the other way and go Sandia in the finals. It could go either way, honestly, but I'm going to go with Hobbs on this one. I'm just going to go with Hobbs and go with that. A lot of these are just, kind of throw darts at the dartboard and see what happens. That's kind of what it looks like to me. So to pick my final, who wins the state championship in the 5A? Well, of course, I think everybody knows that it's Volcano Vista with Kenyon Agueno and David Lunn and Hudson Brown and that whole crew, RJ Gonzalez. I just expect them to do this. I really do. They're just on a roll. Greg Brown does not mess around with that group. He has them very disciplined. They're playing great basketball. It's fun to watch them. They just really take care of business. So with that being all said and covered, you can go to my Instagram pages and see the picks for yourself and the graphics and look at all that and see where the picks are and things like that. And again, these are all just my educated predictions, guesses, expectations, and go from there. So I hope you guys all enjoy the state tournament. I will not be there after the first round because you need media passes in order to work at the pit. And unfortunately, the NMAA does not give those out to people like me or other photographers and scouts and people like that because of their media policies, which they keep changing. So that's where it's at right now. So, but if you want to see the games, you can go to gofans.com and you can buy tickets to the games. I believe the NMAA passes are already sold out. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I've read on certain press releases. So go to gofans.com to go buy your tickets to see the games and have fun. And for me, I thank you for a great season. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a long recovery for me since my health issues have come up. So I'm just gradually getting back into it. So with that being said, thank you for watching and thank you for playing. We'll see you next time.